Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Bass Talk with Freekbass. This is Freekbass. I'm here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. That's Eastern Time in the United States, and we cover everything here, anything related to the bass, whether it be techniques or bass lines or bass line breakdowns or unboxing of basses or equipment that has to deal with any kind of bass-related things. It's all covered here. And thank you to everybody that comes back here each and every week. I can't thank you, and it's awesome. I mean, we have a ton of bass players and a lot of non-bass players, just people that like to see what goes on in the world of bass and music. So, and if, you ever thought about maybe picking up a bass and starting, never better a time now, right? We're right at the beginning of a new year, so it'd be a good time to do it. So, I got a lot of feedback. I did a video a few months back called "Creating a two-note bass line." So, what I thought I would do today, kind of do like a part 2 of that. And as a bass player, and you guys have heard me say this if you watch the show at all. One of my favorite bass lines, if not my favorite bass line of all time, is Papa Was a Rolling Stone. And that is 3 notes, not 2. But I thought it'd even go even more simpler than that. But that is what really resonates with me. I mean, I love getting crazy, and, I do all kinds of crazy stuff on the bass, and that stuff is awesome. But to me, what really, really connects home with me is it's the note choices, and also the space between the note choices. We talked about space a few weeks ago and how important that is and how that's part of the music itself. And so, you don't have to feel like, if you're just beginning, you don't have to feel like, I've got to, play a million notes or, 7, 8, 9, 10 notes bass line or whatever the case may be. And on the other side of the coin, if you've been playing for a very long time and you know everything in the world there is to know about theory and modes and everything else, I would challenge you to kind of think the other way, is that you can try to simplify something and create a very simple idea and let that groove, just like I was talking about the Papa Was a Rolling Stone thing earlier. So that's kind of what I did today. I think I'm going to call this, creating a two-note bass line part 2. And same kind of vibe. And you heard me kind of playing it when we started. So what I suggest, I'm going to break it down here in just a second, but what I would suggest is, if you're a beginner bass player, just mimic what I'm doing. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. And if you've even been playing forever and you're like, oh, of course I can play, that's an easy bass line. I know you can play it once. I know you can play it twice. I know you can play it maybe 8, 10, 12, 16 times. But try to put a little groovy beat on or metronome and just try to really lock with something like that simple, almost like it's a drum beat, Just like, when you first start playing drums, one of the first things you learn is boom, boom, clack, boom, boom, clack, like We Will Rock You type beat. But, playing it over and over with the repetition and still keeping it interesting, to me, that is where the magic really happens too as well. So let me jump back into this. You heard me kind of playing at the beginning of the show, and then we'll kind of talk about it and talk about ways to approach it like this. Just like this, real simple. A lot of space. Nothing here. All right, so there it is. Very, very simple. All I'm playing in, I'm in A, and I'm just going from A to the minor 7th of A, which is G. I'm playing it on the D string, 5th fret, to the octave of A, another A. So G, A, G. And then just a lead back into where we started, a low G, 3rd fret on the E, back to the A. So 5 E, 5 7 5 D, 3 5 E, and that's the bass line. That's it. It's 2 notes. It's G and A. That's it. I'm playing it in octaves, G and A down here and J and A up here, but no more notes than that. And just 3, 4. Turn it up a little bit. Here we go. And if you notice, it's like, it felt pretty good with or without drums. It's almost, again, it's like my bass line is a drum beat. I say it here all the time, and you probably, you're like, I know, we hear you say it all the time, Freekbass. But it's, I'm a drummer that plays notes, and that's the way I approach it. And that is like a drum beat, but that drum beat actually happen to have a couple notes thrown in there too as well. And that's the approach I'm taking into when I'm playing it. It's not. I mean, I love doing that kind of stuff too, I mean, you can throw some of that in too, but the cool thing is when you do throw that kind of stuff in there, then it means so much more because you've got such a solid foundation on the bottom. If you got. This is your main thing, your main drum beat. So that just gives you, you can play again with that space. But again, like I always do, like kind of make sure you really get that hypnotic groove happening first. And if you're just beginning playing bass, don't even think outside of that. Just stay in that lane. Just stay, A, G, A, G, G, A, dun, 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 dun. And I say, it's great for a beginner, but if you've been playing for a long time, I know you can pick that bass line up like that, but can you play that bass line for 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes, and make it feel interesting without changing one note? No additional notes at all. How can you do that and keep it interesting? And that was the magic of Papa Was a Rolling Stone, like I talked about at the beginning of tonight's Bass Talk. So yeah, make that kind of, if I would maybe just try doing exactly what I do at first and, and kind of groove on that, and then maybe take those same 2 notes and then make them your own thing, and which is ultimately where we want to be anyway. But again, respect that space. Don't feel like you have to like fill up the space. Just let the space breathe, because again, the space is part of the music. And 2 notes. That's it. Just G and A minor 7th to the tonic or the octave, or the root note, like that too, all the way around. And really feel it with that drum beat. And I got this cool little 808 drum beat thing program. But again, you can play without it, just with like a click. And it still feels good, no matter which way you go all the way across. So that's what I would say. This is going to be the one for you for this week. Okay, so just really, really check that out, and have a great time with it. 2 notes. That's it. No more than 2 notes. Again, if you're just beginning playing bass, or you've been playing bass forever, try to do a 2-note bass line and then just really lock in and groove with it. And it feels really good too when you do it too. And then you can start thinking about how long each note is. Play it like that, or the way I was playing it, which is a little more staccato. That can kind of, you can bend that to make it for your individual playing style. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, please leave any comments. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment in there. I'll answer it there, which is youtube.com, the Freekbass channel. please subscribe and hit your thumbs up button if you're feeling it. That would be wonderful. It really helps out a lot. If you're watching at Facebook, as always, thank you for sharing this and the shares, and thank you for all the stars you all are sending. That's such a cool thing that they're doing on Facebook now. Really helps with a lot of the stuff we're doing here with creating new content. And don't forget to join me. Speaking of bass players, this Saturday night, you're going to want to join me for Saturday Night Chit Chat. That's at facebook.com/freekbass. I've got the legendary and this amazing Mr. Elijah Curry from Parliament Funkadelic. Bassist, has been touring with George since 1979. He's going to be talking about touring with George Clinton and what's going on with the mothership and everything else. So that's Saturday night. And then right after that on Saturday at 10 o'clock, and also tomorrow night, Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, make sure you please join me over at twitch.tv/freekbass. It's such a cool thing. We're improvising just all these toys you see right here. All this stuff. We're just making up cool grooves live with you in the studio, and then you give me ideas for songs and we just create songs together. So that's twitch.tv/freekbass. Thank you all so much for joining me here this week on Bass Talk with Freekbass. Remember, 2-note bass line. Doesn't matter what level, just try to do that 2-note bass line and groove it out. All right, I will see you next week.